He's from Mehrdad Naderi, who's at the University of Latvia. Mehrdad, go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Thank you. I start. How does the human brain react when we perceive three-dimensional images? Do different 3D images activate the brain in the same way? These are crucial questions to answer in the field of human-computer interaction. My name is Mehrdad Naderi, and I will tell you about the changes in cortical activity during relative depth judgment when viewing fundamentally different 3D images. Well, nowadays, the demand for the generation and application of high-quality three-dimensional images is growing to perceive a better quality of 3D sensation. The importance of improvement of 3D visualization is necessary not in the entertainment, computer-aided designs, oil and gas explorations, aerospace, military, medical, and industrial sectors uses 3D images for personal training and also diagnostic purposes. The goal of investment in developing 3D visualization is to allow organization to make smarter, faster, and safer designs, decision, and also plan to improve the efficiency and value of their products and services. Therefore, the objective assessment of the effect of improved techniques producing 3D images on the human brain is important in order to reduce the side effects resulting in visual discomfort. However, many of 3D techniques fail to provide users with a comfortable viewing experience. Electroencephalography has been extensively used to detect the instant activity of the brain when excited by the 3D visual stimulus. The previous studies focused on one type of 3D images and their effect on the brain reaction compared to the two-dimensional images. However, it has not been compared how different 3D images influence the brain activity. Well, what techniques are used to make 3D images? Anaglyph visualization is a stereoscopic effect achieved when using two chromatically opposite colors to separate the left and right eye views from each other. These two opposite colors are embedded in anaglyph images and glasses for the right and left eyes. When looking through the anaglyph glasses, each of two filtered images reach the eyes it's intended for. Then the visual cortex fuses the images into 3D scene. One can produce the different depth effect by changing disparity of the encoded images. The anaglyph images contain conflicting information about depth cues, which can negatively affect users' experience and performance. Multiplane technology allows to generate 3D images in a fundamentally different way. The volumetric multiplanar display includes a multi-surface optical element, including a series of diffuser layers, a high-speed projector, projects a set of images on the respective layers in a time multiplex manner. As the images are projected in the different place within the optical element, human eyes accommodate to volumetric image points just as they do the actual material objects. Therefore, the multiplane 3D images contain matched depth cues. The consistency of depth cues is an important factor in the depth perception. Well, now the method of the experiment. 10 subjects with a normal visual and stereo acuity participated in this study. The visual stimulus was demonstrated on two types of display, stereoscopic 3D images on a flat screen display and volumetric 3D images on a multiplane display. The visual stimulus consisted of 4 circles with a constant angular size. One of the circles had different disparity compared to the others. The task was to detect the closest circles and report about the relative location by pressing one of 4 directional keys on the computer keyboard. Each session included 8 tutorials and cross was presented before each relative depth judgment task for the gaze fixation. The entire experiment was performed in a dark room at a viewing distance of 90 centimeters. To record the brain signals, 21 active electrodes was placed following the international 1020 system. The impedance of electrodes was below 10 kilo and the average of all electrodes was chosen as reference. The obtained data were analyzed offline to evaluate the event-related potentials and continuous wave of the alpha and beta frequencies, employing EEG lab software version 2019. Okay, well, the correct response rate was high and without any significant differences between 2 tasks. This ensuring that the binocular disparity would be a strong depth cues for depth perception. And the result of the general analysis of event-related potential at 2 time logs as the early process and the late process are presented in the topographical map, as you've seen. Statistical analysis showed no significant differences in early processing ERP activity for 2 visualization techniques. As seen on the topographical map, you see the dorsal area in volumetric screen. Dorsal area is more activated in 3D visualization. It's indicating the processing of position of the visual stimulus. However, no significant differences was seen. Moreover, the analysis of the late processing showed considerable difference in the activity on P4 and O2 electrodes, mostly here. The ERP range 250 to 400 milliseconds. Reflect cognitive processing during depth perception. Further, its distribution is usually on the occipital and parietal areas. Hence, higher activity of the frontal area that's responsible for thinking and problem solving in the stereoscopic 3D visualization might be due to difficulty in distinguishing depth perception, resulting in activation frontal area to handle the depth judgment. Okay, now notable changes were observed in the event-related desynchronization in the alpha activity. The lower and upper alpha event-related synchronization is shown in the topographical map. As seen, the amount of the synchronization in the lower alpha, the synchronization on the lower alpha is the same in 2 type of 3D visualization. In the parietal area, as you see in here, the parietal area, amount of the synchronization, are same. However, in upper alpha, the significantly higher desynchronization was presented in a volumetric 3D here. Volumetric 3D image viewing that might be associated with higher cognitive performance. And besides event-related potential, we analyzed the alpha and the beta band in raw neural oscillations. When you look at the topographical map of alpha activity, you see no significant difference in alpha activity. However, at the same time, the beta activity differed for two type of visualization. The beta band activity is commonly associated with higher level processing as deep thinking and problem solving. So higher activity of the beta indicating the difficulty in task performance regarding Webb's judgment in stereoscopic compared to the volumetric 3D visualization. And now, to summarize, I would like to review the following points and achievements. The larger negative deflection from the baseline at the late event-related potentials in a stereoscopic visualization or Untitled 3D visualization might be related to the greater neural involvement in the processing of stereoscopic 3D images in comparison to the volumetric images. Similar conclusions derived from the analysis of neural oscillation of continuous wave beta frequencies, and desynchronization in upper alpha might be associated with higher cognitive performance in volumetric 3D images perception. Yes. And at the end, this work presented here is a part of a research project which aim to investigate the response of human visual system to the volumetric images. The project team from the University of Latvia examined the visual perception and visual function applying psychophysical methods, eye tracking, photorefraction, and electroencephalography. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mehrdad. That was really interesting. So we're just at the end of your time, but if you have questions for Mehrdad, keep them, and you can even